No, you're gonna get on television. Come on.
Hallo, hi, zo bij je.
The fresh foot.
You're gonna join us?
You'll like that.
Thank you very much. This way?
This way.
Okay.
Downstairs.
Perfect. Good. Yeah, right.
So is this museum under sort of an auspices of some greater entity, being only two in North America?
Well, they get funding.
Actually, it's not as big as the It's more it's interesting. Notice it. There's nothing inside.
Everybody can you sit proud in there?
I don't know, I'm sorry, I forgot the
Hey, you're not old enough.
Yes,
Okay, can we have your attention, please? Listen, we've got a short program, and what we want is we want everybody, everybody's a part of the program. It's not just us, but you're a part of the program too. So at one time it was said we should have a ribbon cutting ceremony. No, I didn't feel that way, and I think a lot of us felt that way. It's the ribbon is being cut by everybody because we're all a part of it. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I'd like to welcome everybody that's here. We have some guests. Sandra Rowan is from New Horizons. Where are you, Sandra? There's the lovely young lady. Sandra was largely responsible for us getting a lot of the money that we needed so we could get started. And now you see some of the results of what we're trying to do with it, Sandra. And we're very pleased to see you here. We have a lot of other people, but first and foremost, I think what's more important is let's get the people that were most responsible for getting this thing done here. Two people that I can think of that spent more time than anybody else to sit down, three people that sat down and had spent all the time to make the plans here, do the decorating, get the builder, and that is our secretary. And believe me, when I talk about secretary, she's the real boss. She does everything. We're talking about Virginia Stoimanov. Then we have our young architect who did the plans for us, gave us some ideas. And then we had other people who said, no, we don't want it this way, we want it that way. But he did a lot of work for us, and that was Tony Bolsini. Thank you, Tony. And then we have our decorator, which is, she's always decorates very well. That's Nikki Alexis. But there's four. There's one person we can't ignore, and that's the man that was responsible for the building. And what he did was he did everything at a loss, not at a profit. You didn't make any money. Let's introduce our lovely architect over here. Builder. And builder. What's the name of your company's name?
Thomas D.
Thomas D.
Construction.
Thomas D. Construction. Thomas D. Construction. This is Van Petrov's brother-in-law, married brother-in-law. This is
We have his address and everything in our fashion show program.
It's on a fashion show program?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, while we're at it, let's give although this is not a part of it, for those of you that were at the fashion show, I understand you did a fantastic job. So how about you?
The daughter did a fabulous job. The daughters of Macedonia.
Look, if we talk about the Historic Society, it's not one person, it's everybody. And what happened is we got an idea, and with that idea, we found out that people were interested, and they weren't interested in our internal politics. They were interested in something that hurt them over here. That was their identity. And for the first time, we found young people from all over, old people, people that never identified as Macedonians before, and they want to be, and they became a part of the Historic Society. So that today the Historic Society is not just us that are here, but it's people as far away as California and Macedonia, people as far away as Australia, and they say, we want to be a part of it. And thank God, this part that we have started over here, I believe has set the standard for all of Macedonians all over the world. We have been able to sit down and for years we wondered, what is our history? And there were so many contradictions that we couldn't even tell ourselves what was our history. Thanks to the Canadian Macedonian Historical Society, we were able to pose some key questions. And these questions we've been trying to answer. And now we've been able to tell the rest of the world what those questions are, and everybody's beginning to ask them as well as us. And now what we want is answers. So thank you very much for your cooperation. Now, I'd like to ask the big boss over here, Virginia Stoimanov, to introduce some people that have a presentation to make.
Well, I've just met some very nice people who I understand have got some really nice things to donate to the Historical Society. And I'd like to introduce Sonia Nikolovsky, who has something here that we'll be very proud to have in our library museum. Sonia Nikolovsky.
On behalf of the Dawsonian collection, I would like to represent, I would like to donate this collector's plate to the Canadian Macedonian Historical Society. And there you go.
Thank you very much. That is beautiful.
What it says on the back.
Oh, yeah.
Alexander, the king of Macedonia, 336 to 322 BC. By conquest he became the master of the Greeks, pharaoh to the Egyptians, and ruler of Persia. Alexander had only to complete his third crushing victory to be acknowledged ruler of lands that covered 1 million square miles.
And I understand that anybody can buy these? There are some of these flyers around, I guess, at the front, and you can reserve yours by sending $49.95 plus $5 shipping and handling to the Dawsonian collection, and it's in Scarborough, and the address is on this sheet. So if anybody else would like to have one, you can just pick up one of these and send off for it. Thank you very much.
Now, look, it's a little hot in here. I was going to make an introduction, but we're going to, after a while, Kiwimidolo, and have some coffee. And I think it would be a little bit more comfortable if I sit down, and after we settle down a little bit, I'll have a couple of things to say. But before we do that, I'd like to introduce first Tony Voltsinas, who's going to tell you a little bit about what we did to get started here. Tony?
Well, for those of you who don't know who I am, I just finished my course at Ryerson in the architectural technology course there. And I'm also the founder of the Ryerson Association of Macedonian Students. About 2 years ago I started to get really involved. And that led me to the Historical Society, where my curiosity obviously set me a little further than I first thought when I first set out. So, you know, here I am, given this opportunity to design this facility here, which is, you know, beyond my wildest expectations when I first got into the society. And generally what happened was the CMP allocated these 4 rooms to this project here, and we proceeded from there. Peter Konda, Virginia Stoimanov, and Nikki Alexiou, and myself were a part of the board, the planning committee, subcommittee, sorry. And you know, from there we went on, and the design process started. We saw the 4 rooms that we had allocated to us, and we cordoned it off into a staff area and a public area. The staff area will house the offices for the CMP Historical Society and some storage area as well as a work area with storage for videotapes and so forth and so on. In the area in the lobby over there, you have a research area with a curved librarian's desk equipped with a computer over there as a research computer and a photocopier. So what happens is when you come into here, you get the shelving going on in here and a boardroom facility here with an audiovisual area here where you'll have overheads, a VCR, TV. People can make presentations here, have meetings, so on and so forth. Students, I would like to invite anybody who's young here to come, and study here if you can. And you have all these books here, and it's going to be hopefully a very homeful atmosphere. I would like to thank the Historical Society for giving me this opportunity, and I hope you all enjoy this facility and use it.
Before I introduce the next speaker, I cut Virginia off because there was another presentation she had to make, and that's what happens when you're getting older, you can forget. Virginia, what's the other presentation?
Oh.
My fault.
Oh, sorry. Nasi Volkovsky. Nasi, are you here?
Yeah.
Where are you? He also has some donations to make to the Historical Society, and please come and tell us about it. Oh, and Nicola? Okay, Nicola, you come next.
My name is Nasi Volkovsky. I'm an architect, graduate in Poland. I've been interested basically in history and religion, our church, and therefore I tried to sort of collect my information wherever it was possible. Therefore, I came across some, documents that are maybe valuable. But when you read through these documents, you should read somewhere in between, because they're all Greek tendencies built in, sort of, with centuries ago. I brought you a book that was located here and was written by an American in 1850. So freshly after the Greek Revolution, and although has some influence already shown in the book, that it's a pro-Greek or something, but as I said, you can read it between the lines, that we have a nice and beautiful history that really we all can be proud of. Because it's a unique book, I just made a copy of it. Also, in 1904, from Poland, you have to remember that Poland was not even independent at that time, because it was like a Macedonian divided into three parts since 1795. And it became independent after the First World War in 1918. And a gentleman by the name Anthony Miecznik, in 1904, a year after the Ilinden, Vostanie, wrote a book about Macedonci and Macedonci, Macedonia and Macedonci. It's in Polish. I'm sure there are a lot of people still here who can read Polish. And one day maybe we'll translate it. The other document that I brought is quite unique. It's one of the directors that personally took care of me while I was in Poland, and he's one of the well-respected teachers, a director from the Ministry of Education in Poland, who wrote notes about us during the years 48-65, and that manuscript is sort of recorded, Xerox. Again, it is in Polish, but it's a unique book. Thanks to Nicola here, we got a freshly issued by the Republic of Macedonia, the Republic of Macedonia and her constitution. So anybody who wants to read about it's in English, this one. And including the constitution, so it's a lot of interesting, information available. So I'm gonna leave it just for you to read it.
Thank you. And Nicola Belchevsky, who's been a very good supporter of the movement.
Before we start, Nicola's been with the working with the board of directors from the very beginning, and he's made a very important role, and we consider him as our art director down there.
In fact,
Go
he
ahead,
designed
Nicola.
this, which was our first banquet.
Anyway, thank you. I like to say, to start with this, I met a person, a doctor in history who was teaching philosophy in the Cyril and Methody in Macedonia, a person who is he is retired now, a professor of, by the name, we are not related, but his last name is Belchev also, Dr. Teshko Belchev. There is some relatives here from Patele, I believe.
Hi.
Yes. Yeah, anyway, that I met about 10 or 15 people who are very professional back home. They like to work with the Historical Society here. So that's something that maybe we can talk in our meetings in the future.
Okay, I forgot maybe a little essay that I wrote also that anybody that is interested, it's in Macedonian, about the Skopje, and near Skopje there is a beautiful region called Skopje Crna. And there probably nobody has written. Actually, this was my thesis 30 years ago. So I took only a portion of it that deals directly with the Selata, characteristic of Selata, Crkvite Manastirite. If anybody is interested, 10 copies.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's getting a little warm in here, a little crowded, so what I'm going to ask is everybody, let's go downstairs to the lounge and we'll carry on. The main lounge, the main lounge. Away already?
Samo najmanje sad. Vidite, no? Tijeve svake visinu ima.
Well, first of all, there's quite a few members of the board of directors that are very, very hardworking people. There's Odi, where's Odi? Right here. Belishevsky Dickacy creation. Because in addition to Odi, he is one of the hardest working young men that we have, and the wonderful presentation that he made, especially at the banquet. And then, of course, there's Dr. Lubian Petrov. She is our conscience. And Nego Papa, we always ask her to give us advice. And even though sometimes we aren't smart enough to do what she tells us to. We respect what she's doing, and we really appreciate it. Now what I'd like to do, there's other members of the board of directors which I haven't announced because some of them will be announced to you, and they'll have a few words to say. And I'll ask Lillian to make the presentation. Would you do that, Lillian? Oh, she's going to... Oh, you were going to... I said presentation, I said introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have the very great honor of introducing a very fine colleague, Virginia Evans, who really has put together a wonderful lecture series last year and this year. I hope that you have your calendars open. More important, I hope you have this Sunday all ready to come to the kickoff of our 93-94 Historical Society Lecture Series. I'm privileged and honored to present Virginia Evans that will tell you about this most exciting event coming up.
Thank you. Can everyone hear me? Yes?
Yes.
Speak? Okay. This Sunday at 1:30 at the North York Central Library, right beside Mel Lassman Square, and every Macedonian knows where Mel Lassman Square is, right? Right. Now, at 1:30 we're having a very interesting lecture by two very interesting people. One of our speakers is Father David Belden, and he's from St. Joseph of Arimathea Orthodox Church. Now, this St. Joseph of Arimathea Church, St. Joseph of Arimathea Orthodox Church is one of the only, it is the only English language Orthodox church in Toronto of 30 different Orthodox churches. And we, as Macedonians, have come to Orthodoxy by being born into Orthodoxy. Father David was converted to Orthodoxy about 10 or 15 years ago, and he was an Anglican priest before then, and is now an Orthodox priest. And Father David will be speaking to us about the history of Orthodoxy. And I know that all of us have questions in our own minds as to what it means and what history and the history of the faith that we are born into. And I've had questions, and I'm certain that most of us here that will attend will have some. He's going to be speaking on that history, and there will be a time afterwards where we will entertain questions from the audience. Our second speaker is going to be Georgi Danevsky, and of course, I'm sure that he's very well known, certainly here at CMP. He is our artist extraordinaire that has been decorating our beautiful St. Clement's Church, and he will be speaking about the Macedonian icons and his methods, and also some of the icons that he has painted in Skopje and the rest of the country. And I know that we have one of our members that has taken some wonderful slides that will be part of the visual presentation of our lecture, and I know I'm looking forward to it. I brought tickets with me tonight. They are $5 for non-members and $4 for members. If you are a member, please show your card when you come, and you will get your ticket for $4. And those are one of the privileges of being a member of the Macedonian Society. And speaking about that, I think that this is one of the first of our lectures. We hope to have at least 2 to 3 for the rest of the season. But I would like to I'd like to make mention of it because I'm not sure whether we'll have a chance with somebody else, that the society is not just a membership where people give their money, $15 and that's easy, and here's your membership card and you're a member. We would like to have participatory members. That means people that are part of our committees in some shape or form that help us do this. This is not a one-man or one-woman band, and we need to have other people helping us. And I think this is a very unique organization where men and women are totally equal in it. And we're also, we are looking in terms of educating and informing, and we want to look at all the different parts of Macedonia. And we hope to have lecturers from the different parts of Macedonia as well, and from our going back in history. We hope to have someone from the Byzantine era, that someone is familiar with that, and have lecturers from the States, hopefully. And we've got some great plans, and I hope to see all of you at some of our lectures. Thank you very much.
Everybody's been asking about the books that are going to be donated and all the various artifacts to the library. The most important person that we have, and also a member of the board of directors, is the next young man that I'm going to introduce. And he's going to tell you what to do and how to do it, I hope. Alex Nixis.
My name is Alexander Nitsis, and I just want to tell you a little bit about the books that we'd like to have in our library, our archives section as well. It's a big task, as you all were witnesses to. It's pretty hot down there. Our work is still not finished. We need to get proper ventilation down there, a proper temperature control, because we don't want to have books or archives down there that will be damaged or destroyed because of humidity or because of heat or whatever. So we're working on that. Believe you me, we're not going to have any books in there until everything is perfect. And just earlier, Lillian Petrov was telling me that we had a person come in there from an archive. What was it, Lillian, again?
The Ontario Association of Archivists.
Okay, Ontario Association of Archives. And that person went through the library, and they're going to be getting back to us, telling us what we need to do in order to make it a perfect place for keeping archives and books. So the first step for us is to get that finished. After that, there'll be a procedure in which you will be following so that we can put everything on paper, make sure that you fill out the proper papers when you do hand things in. We'll put everything on computer, so when you hand something in, it's not just handing it in and then forgetting about it. In effect, it's almost on loan to us, the Historical Society. So people are donating things, they're giving us things on loan. So we're going to have to fill the proper papers as we go through. Get the proper, if there's something that is valuable, we're going to have to get that insured. So there's a lot of things that we have to go through. And we're working on all of those. As I said, first thing is to get the library ready. If you can please just hold off. If you have books that were published recently, those are okay. We can put them down there right now. But anything that's valuable that you have, pictures or anything that's old, please keep it in a dry place that doesn't have a lot of humidity around the area, and just give us a note stating what you have and your number, and then we will get back to you when we're ready to accept your material. Because the older stuff, we don't want to accept that material until we're ready for it, and we don't want it damaged. Some of you have been keeping it for years, passed down from relatives, 10, 30, 50, maybe even 100 years. So if they're well kept up to this date, then I think you can hold on to them a little longer until we're ready for it. So if you have anything that you want to donate or give to us on loan, so you don't have to actually give it to us, to the society, you can donate it if you want, or if you just want us to have it on loan for a certain period of time, you can. And just give us a note with your name and what you have and number, and then we'll be getting back to you when we're ready. So I hope if you have any questions, see myself or any of the other members, so that you can we can get those names of the people and kind of get ready for accepting the books. One more thing we forgot last time, the last time we had a meeting, was that we had a list at the back for people who wanted to join the committees. For instance, for anyone who wanted to join the Archives and Library Committee, people who wanted to join the Lecture Committee, people who wanted to join the Textile and Art Committee, we had a Music Committee. Those who wanted to join those committees and help out, somehow that list was misplaced. So if there's anyone, Peter, can we have some kind of sign up, Peter? Will we be able to have a sign-up sheet at the front door there for people who want to join those committees, and put your numbers on there so we can contact you? As you know, there's a few of us who are doing quite a bit of work. We need more people to help out. It's not a lot of work, but if we could delegate a little here and there, it'll make it a lot easier, and we can get onto doing the things that we like to do with the Historical Society. But thank you anyway.
Now, I'm going to ask Virginia Evans to come back and introduce the young man that is going to be one of our major speakers at the presentation that she's going to make. Virginia?
He's right there. Right over there.
I'd like to introduce Georgi Daneski. Would you please just come up just to be presented at least? Georgi, Ella. This is our extraordinary artist, and who had his picture in the paper, and Boris Primo, as a matter of fact, one of our award-winning photographers, took those pictures that were in the paper. So he had the very best taking those pictures.
Приятно осеќам меѓу овој македонски народ, кој покрај силувањето задржал многу душевност и многу култивираност, и ме радува ова библиотека што ја отвара. Значи, малку сум застрамен затоа што нагло дојдов тука господата Вирџинија ме викна. Моите срдечни поздрави, ги држам палците да македонскиот народ ги умножува добрите акции и племенити како ова, и би сакал да кажам дека ако дојдете на предавањето што ме поканија да го одржам, ти кажам тајните кои ги исповедале стотини македонски мајстори низ еден милениум. Благодарам што ме поканите, но ќе задржам она за
The name card you can say the next thing.
For those of you who's Macedonian in his first mind, he says he's going to tell all secrets on Sunday, so make sure you're there. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very honored to ask our next guest and board of directors and member of the board of directors, who's doing a fantastic job also in her own right for the Canadian Macedonian Historical Society, and that is relative to the exhibit that she is preparing that will be presented to all of Canada within a very short period of time. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to ask Annie Wood to say a few words.
I feel very honored to be here this evening. And as I was standing at the back looking around, I was just thrilled to see the children that are here. There is a baby on the back table in a little reclining chair. And I think that this is the person, and the other children that are there as well, that we have made this historical society for and that we made this library for. And I want to thank those parents for bringing their children here this evening. And there's some other volunteers here as well. Will be taking place in 1995. And it warms my heart to tell you about all the generous people that have called us with offers to loan us things for the exhibit. Mrs. Branagh, for example, has been very generous in lending us her costume and other things that are from her family. We have, it is of our opinion that this will be the first time in North America that an exhibit like this will have taken place. Of this, there is another exhibit in churches and other places like that, but never one as big as this. So we think it's a very important exhibit. There's one thing that I would like to mention tonight. We have had many, many generous offers from many people, from many villages. However, we haven't covered a lot of the areas in Macedonia. And I'd like to ask all of you here tonight, if you have anything at all, whether it's something that is small, that you might think isn't important, but that was made by your mother or your grandmother, please give us a call and let us come and have a look at what you've got. Because what we're doing now is photographing with slides and taking the information down about these items. So far, we've collected almost 1,000 slides, and copies of these slides are going to be going into the library here in the archive. So, and then the other copies will be going to the museum, and they'll be selected from this for the exhibit itself. So please give us a call. It's really important that all of Macedonia be represented. We'd like your family, your village, your town, your part of Macedonia to be included in this exhibit. It's very important. We've also produced some fundraising cards. This exhibit will cost money, and these fundraising cards are a way for us to raise money so that we can produce a catalog, because we think it's important to have this catalog. And they're selling for $10 for a set of 8 cards. And these cards have, could you hold up a set? The cards, you're here, and let everybody have a look. The cards have photographs. There are 4 different pictures, 2 cards of each picture, and they're different photographs of different parts of costumes. One is a male costume, one is a female costume. One is a close-up of an apron, one is a baby blanket. If you buy these cards and use these cards, every time you send a little bit of Macedonia in the mail. And it's a way that you can help us and you can help the Macedonian community. So I encourage all of you to consider buying these cards as a way of helping us do our work. And I'd like to thank you for giving me a few minutes of your time. Thank you so much.
You've just seen a small example of some of the things that are going on. Now, if you think we're not making mistakes, we're making lots of mistakes. And I'm very glad to say we're making lots of mistakes, because if we didn't make those mistakes, it meant we weren't working. And we are working very hard. To cut down on all the mistakes, we need your help. Now, one of the criticisms I had, why did I cut the meeting off short over there? You know why I cut it off short downstairs? Because I was hot. And if I was hot, I knew you were hot too. The thing is, we need an air conditioner down there. And we need a conditioner so to dry off the air, so the equipment that we have will also last. So it means we need a lot of support from everybody. You had Alex come over here, and he told you. So it is important that everybody sign up and become a member of the Historic Society, but not just to sign up, but also to help us so we can get the necessary funds to do the work that we'd like to do. Ladies and gentlemen, before we close this evening, I'd like to mention the fact that what we've done is we have summarized a great deal of the work that we have done relative to the history of the Macedonian people. And I have written up a report, and for those of you that would like to see it, please take a look at it, because in effect what it does is it summarizes some of the misconceptions that have taken place relative to the history of the Macedonian people. And also what it does do is it gives us a direction as to what we should be doing. Now, I've been told that the report is probably biased. Yes, it is biased. It's biased because I'm a Macedonian, and so are you. And as Macedonians, what we're trying to do is we're trying to find out not only what our heritage is, but we're also trying to correct the misconceptions that exist all over. And one way we can do that is possibly by having a seminar where we would invite prominent people throughout the world without our bias to honestly say what is the history of the Macedonians, starting with the ancients, and what was the history of the Byzantines. So one of the proposals that we will be making, and one that we've already started to investigate, is to start a seminar in cooperation with the University of Toronto, possibly 2 years from now. And the seminar would be first on the topic of what was the culture, what was the language of the Macedonians at the time of Alexander the Great. And the second part of that culture would be what was the language of the Byzantines. Now the two of these are very closely tied in with what our history is. I do not want anyone to get a misconception that what we are trying to do is we are trying to tell them what to do. Because we are asking prominent people to take part in this, and they have to voice what they honestly think is the truth. We just want to hear from them. What we can do to add to this is make a cultural event out of it. And by making a cultural event, then we can invite prominent artists, prominent lecturers, prominent Macedonians from all over the world who also participate. So this is the sort of thing we're looking forward to in the future. Relative to the immediate, we are in a process of collecting and having, we are in the process of making a constitution for this organization. And I have a motion, and I'd like everybody here to listen to what the motion is. That there be a meeting, an open meeting of the members of the Canadian Macedonian Historical Society sometime in May for the purpose of adopting a constitution and for the purpose of electing or re-electing new officers to the organization. This is my motion. It's seconded by Virginia Stoimanov. Is there any discussion? All right, starting is, how many are in favor of the motion? That is to have a meeting of everybody, sometimes in May, for two things. One is to approve a constitution, a formal constitution, and to elect officers or re-elect officers at that time. All in favor, will you please raise your hand? Is there anybody opposed? Nicole, are you opposed or are you in favor?
I'm in favor.
And I'll take it that it is unanimous. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. One more announcement I'll ask Virginia to make it, and then what we're going to do is we're going to finish the coffee after wishing him off, finish the donuts if there's any left, and we're going to have some dancing. Thank you.
We have one more person that just wanted to bring this to your attention. Ellen. Ellen. No. No, keep it over the door. Ellen, come on. Come on. Of course you're going to say,
на Historical Society, Godovai,
Macedoniano.
Thank you very much, and have a good time for the rest of the evening.
We have Angie, that was Angie Constantine. We didn't mention her name. Thank you, Angie. Dorothy, we have to make sure everybody knows who you are. Okay, we're going to have some coffee from us, and they're going to put some music on.